Well, I can show you, Kelly. We've got new enhanced images before and after the strike, starting with Barza. This is the facility that Lieutenant General Kenneth McKenzie, this Joint Staff Director at the Pentagon, described as the heart of the Syrian chemical weapons program. The Pentagon says this was a center for research, development, and production of chemical weapons. Three main buildings. The after pictures, those are the ones with the smoke rising, indicate the three buildings were flattened. The other targets were outside of homes, about 100 miles north of Damascus. The Pentagon says one of the targets was a facility that made sarin gas precursors and production equipment. The other, again according to the Pentagon, was a storage facility for chemical weapons as well as a command post. And again, you can identify the pictures with the after by the big plumes of smoke coming up. They appear to show the structures were flattened. That is backed up by video coming out of Syria. The buildings were targeted by 105 missiles. They now all appear to be heaps of rubble. The generals at the Pentagon say part of the decision-making was to minimize civilian casualties. Thus far, we have reports of only 3 injuries, and that was near the targets outside of homes. Kelly?
All right, Mike. So as you look at this, and what's the reaction in the region?
Well, you know, you have such a complex web of alliances and interests. You get a wide swath of reactions. Take, for instance, the supporters of Bashar Assad in Syria. As soon as the sun came up, they took to the streets. They danced around, waved flags, pictures of Bashar al-Assad. They played patriotic music. One man shouted that Syria humiliated the American missiles. A Twitter account linked to the Syrian president's office ran the message, "Good souls will not be intimidated." Iran's Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, called the leaders of France, Great Britain, and the U.S. criminals. The Army of Islam, the last of the anti-Assad militias, called the strikes a farce and said there's no strategy to protect the people from the brutality of the Assad regime. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu voiced support, and he said this reckless quest of Bashar Assad to acquire and use weapons of mass destruction put the Syrian people at risk. Russia responded by saying they are now considering the possibility of selling to the Syrian army S-300 missiles. Those are much more sophisticated surface-to-air defense than the Syrian army employed last night.